We're dealing with insurance issues, and we'll be following up with what I talked about last week about the auto insurance policies. So any follow-up questions you have about underinsured or uninsured or limited tort, full tort, that which we talked about last week, I'll be glad to entertain that again. But that dovetails very well with what we're doing this week, and that's we're having Steve Barrett in. Steve is the owner of Crawford's Auto Body, which is on Route 113 in Euclid, and it's been a family business, I think, for the past 40 or more years. And Steve's been in it since he was a youngster, and that was more than a couple of years ago, I guess, by now. And it has been 40 years, right, for the family?
Longer than that, really.
Oh, really? Okay. You've been in it 40 years? Yeah. Okay. And Steve is our go-to expert in the county, as far as I'm concerned, for any kind of insurance issues that deal with your property damage types of claims. So you have collision, whether your car is totaled, whether it's got significant damage, and he'll go into all that and what the repairs are and what your rights are. And this becomes important to us because most of the time if we're in collisions or we have accidents, it's mostly property damage. Less often is it personal injury where I committed the case. But with the property damage cases, they can be very expensive, and you as a consumer really should be on top of your game and you start to make an insurance claim. And there's different ways to skin the cat, there's different ways for you to get what you need and what you want, but basically to get what is truly you deserve because you have bought the policy, you have the contract of insurance, and you should be treated fairly. So Steve's here today to talk about that, okay? Steve, welcome aboard.
Hi. I know Peter just went over it, but the importance of reading your insurance policy is the most important thing you can do to protect your automobile investment. I talk to customers all the time that have issues with their insurance carrier, and I ask them to bring their insurance policy in, and they realize that they bought a policy that is not what they're reading in the TV commercials and all the propaganda that we see on television. If your vehicle has been damaged, the decision to where the vehicle is repaired is yours. What I see in my world is what we call a DRP shop. A DRP shop is a direct repair facility that's contracted to the insurance industry. It's similar to HMO.
Help! They're after me.
Who's after you? More insurance steering?
Yeah, that's right. My insurance company referred me to a bunch of Bondo body shops that they want to repair my car.
Although the collision provider is repairing your car, his obligation and commitment is to the insurance industry, not necessarily yours. Unless you ask the facility if they're a DRP shop, most of the time you don't realize who's contracted to the insurance industry and what that means to you. So moving forward, you'll see this copy of the actual policy, and I'd like to go over with some of the language so you understand what you bought. Most people believe when they buy a policy that the purpose of the policy is to repair their car properly using original equipment parts. Give them a car that is returned to 100% whole.
You do that for me? Really?
I don't want to be in a situation where I mention
Who's talking
insurance
to?
company's
It's
name,
Jake.
but this insurance company promotes itself as your good neighbor.
And who is this?
It's Jake.
So you hear a lot of advertising on television, radio commercials.
Khakis?
And you'll see where they're promoting right here on this front page, recycled parts and new non-OEM parts. A new non-OEM part is a part that is made by a company that is not the manufacturer of your car. We call these imitation and aftermarket parts. Most insurance companies today are selling policies that have language within the policy that state that they can repair your car using aftermarket parts. People don't understand that. People, when they buy the policy, expect that their car is going to be returned to the same condition it was before the accident. Well, using an aftermarket part on your car is not returning your car to the same condition it was prior.
And why is that? An aftermarket part, isn't that just as good as a...
No, aftermarket parts haven't been crash tested. Okay. In my world at collision repair, we find the aftermarket parts don't fit properly. They don't have the same corrosion protection. They rust faster. The body lines aren't the same as the original equipment parts.